Do you know the cage of death in Australia? Prepare to discover 101 random facts in part 2 of this wonderful Zarpado series. Let's begin. If you have ever owned a cat and found that it has urinated on your belongings, don't be alarmed. This behavior may be a way for your cat to tell you that it likes you. Cats mark their territory with their urine, and if they do this on your things, it is a sign of affection. However, it is important to remember that this behavior can also be a sign of stress or health problems. Cats are very sensitive animals and can react to changes in their environment, so it is always advisable to pay attention to their behavior. A recent study has revealed that women who consume alcohol in moderation are less likely to be obese. Although this may seem contradictory, it is suggested that moderate consumption of certain alcoholic beverages, such as red wine, may have beneficial effects on metabolism. Red wine, for example, contains antioxidants that may help reduce the risk of heart disease. In countries such as Sweden, Finland, and Norway, the film E.T. the Extraterrestrial was banned because it depicted adults as enemies of children. This decision reflects a cultural concern about how intergenerational relationships are portrayed in the media. The film, although iconic, was seen as a threat to children's perception of authority and protection. This fact invites us to reflect on how the stories we consume influence our view of the world. Female kangaroos have 3 vaginas, 2 lateral ones to transport sperm, and a central one to give birth. This anatomical peculiarity allows them to always be ready to reproduce and maximize their chances of reproductive success in a hostile environment. In addition, kangaroos have a unique reproductive system that allows them to carry out multiple pregnancies at once, which is a fascinating phenomenon within the animal kingdom. Kumarzu cheese, originally from Sardinia, Italy, is famous for containing live worms that jump while you eat it. Did you know that the mark your tongue leaves on a piece of paper is as unique as your fingerprints? Every person has a distinct pattern on their tongue, which opens up a new field in biometric identification and personal security. The famous poet Lord Byron was known for his eccentric behavior and tumultuous love life. One of his strangest peculiarities was his collection of pubic hair from his lovers, a reflection of his obsession with the unusual and personal. The first condoms were made from animal and fish intestines. Although there are much safer and more effective options today, this historical practice shows how our understanding of sexual health has evolved as societies have progressed. Buzz Aldrin was the first person to urinate on the moon, right after stepping on it. This curious fact is not only interesting from a historical perspective, but it also highlights human needs, even in the most extraordinary situations. Space exploration has brought humans into extreme conditions, where even basic biological functions must be considered. The leopard frog has an unusual hunting technique. It uses its eyes to catch its prey. When it wants to eat something, it sinks its eyes into its head to push its prey into its mouth, proving that nature always finds ingenious ways to survive. These types of adaptations are perfect examples of how animals have evolved to adapt to their environments. Ancient Romans used urine to wash and whiten their teeth. Although this may sound disgusting today, the ammonia present in urine has bleaching properties that were put to good use by our ancestors. This fact reminds us of how personal hygiene practices have changed over time and how our perceptions about cleanliness have evolved. Some fruit flies are immune to the effects of alcohol thanks to a genetic mutation. This makes them the only known animal that cannot get drunk, which raises interesting questions about evolution and biology. This unique ability could open up new avenues of research into how different species handle toxic substances. People who suffer from methemoglobinemia have a blue skin color due to a genetic abnormality. This rare condition is inherited and has led to entire families with this peculiar appearance. This phenomenon shows us how genetic variations can influence our physical characteristics and how these differences can be perceived by society. Farting can help lower blood pressure. Although it may seem like a taboo topic, some research suggests that releasing intestinal gas may have benefits for cardiovascular health. This curious fact underscores how even the most mundane aspects of our biology can have significant implications for our health. The eyes are the only part of the body that remains the same size from the moment we are born. This means that our eyes have been seeing the world from a constant perspective throughout our lives. Sleeping in a cold room can increase the chances of suffering from nightmares. This is due to the relationship between room temperature and sleep quality. When the environment is too cold, our body can experience discomfort, which interferes with the deep and REM sleep stages, where dreams are most vivid. This disruption in the sleep cycle can not only lead to nightmares, but it also affects how we process our emotions and memories during the night. If you look a dog in the eye, you can intimidate it. Dogs interpret direct eye contact as a challenge or threat, which can lead to unexpected reactions. The word fornicate has an interesting etymological origin. It refers to having sex in a bread oven. Today, the RA Dictionary defines it as having intercourse or carnal copulation outside of marriage. But its history reveals a lot about past social norms and how these have changed over time. Psycho was the first film to feature a toilet on screen. This inclusion broke cinematic taboos and marked a significant shift in how toilets were depicted in film. This fact illustrates how art reflects the culture and social norms of its time. Roy C. Sullivan was an American park ranger with the record of surviving 7 lightning strikes. Although he survived these extraordinary incidents, his life ended tragically when he shot himself. His story is a grim reminder of how even those who seem to have an amazing life can face internal struggles. During the 17th century in Germany, there was the Katzenklavier, a piano that used live cats to make sounds by digging their claws into their tails. This unusual instrument reflects a time when cruelty to animals was commonly accepted and raises ethical questions about how we have treated other species throughout history. For every human on Earth, there are approximately 1.6 million ants. This surprising fact puts into perspective how many living things cohabit our planet and how they interact with each other. The first camera took around 8 hours to capture an image. This long and tedious process contrasts dramatically with the instantaneousness of modern cameras and highlights the technological advances we have made in the field of photography. It is impossible to sneeze while you sleep because the muscles responsible for sneezing are paralyzed during REM sleep. This evolutionary mechanism protects our airways while we rest and underlines how complex our bodily functions are. Left-handed people live on average 8 years less than right-handed people. Although it is completely unknown why this occurs, some studies suggest genetic and environmental factors that could influence this difference. Trypophobia is the fear of holes that are close together. This aversion manifests itself when faced with irregular patterns or groups of small holes or bumps, such as those found in some plants or certain foods. Although it is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, many people experience discomfort when seeing these patterns. A surprising fact is that Australia is wider than the Moon. The Moon has a diameter of approximately 2,100 miles, while the diameter of Australia from east to west is almost 2,500 kilometers. This comparison reveals the vastness of the Australian continent and its geographical diversity, which includes everything from arid deserts to lush rainforests. Have you heard the word mellifluous? It refers to a sound that is pleasantly soft and musical to the ear. This word comes from the Latin mel, meaning honey, and fluere, meaning to flow. In a world filled with noise and chaos, finding terms that describe the beauty of sound can be a comfort to those seeking harmony in their everyday lives. The Spice Girls, one of the most iconic pop groups of the 1990s, were originally called Touch. Mel C revealed in an interview that when they started out with that name, they were pretty bland and felt like they had to fit into a mold. The change to Spice Girls not only gave them a more vibrant identity, but also reflected their diversity and unique personality. Human teeth are the only part of the body that cannot heal itself. They are covered in enamel, a non-living tissue. While other parts of the body can regenerate and heal, our teeth require professional dental care to maintain their health. The tradition of toasting with wine has roots in ancient Rome. The Romans used to dip a piece of toasted bread into wine to wish good health to those present. This custom has endured to this day and has become a symbol of camaraderie and good wishes at celebrations around the world. A curious fact about creativity is that people tend to be more creative while taking a shower. Baby rabbits are known as rabbits. Not only is this term adorable, but it also reflects the richness of language and how different cultures have their own words to describe the same thing. The cuteness of rabbits has made them popular animals in many families around the world. The unicorn is Scotland's national animal. This myth was chosen because of its connection to dominance, chivalry, and purity in Celtic mythology. The unicorn symbolizes qualities such as nobility and innocence, making it a perfect emblem for a country with a rich history and traditions. The first airplane flew on December 17, 1903. Wilbur and Orville Wright made 4 short flights in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, with their motorized aircraft known as the first airplane. This milestone marked the beginning of the aviation age and forever changed the way we travel and connect with the world. Venus is the only planet in the solar system that rotates clockwise. This phenomenon is fascinating because it defies our expectations of how planets should spin. The extreme conditions on Venus, including scorching temperatures and dense atmospheres, make it an intriguing place for scientists. Nutmeg is more than just a spice. It is also a natural hallucinogen. It contains myristicin, a compound that can have mind-altering effects if ingested in large doses. Although it is safe to use as a condiment in small amounts, its hallucinogenic potential has led to warnings about excessive consumption. In 2018, a 73-year-old bottle of French Burgundy became the most expensive bottle of wine ever sold at auction, fetching $558,000. The 1945 Romani Conti bottle sold at Sotheby's for more than 17 times its original estimate of $32,000. Between 1912 and 1948, arts used to be an Olympic sport. During those years, international sporting events awarded medals for music, painting, sculpture, and architecture. This fun fact reminds us how perceptions about art and sport have evolved over time and how both fields can intertwine. The chef's hat has 100 pleats, supposedly representing the 100 ways an egg can be cooked. The Japanese word kuchi-zamashi describes the act of eating when you are not hungry because the mouth feels lonely. This expression reflects a common experience in many cultures, eating for emotional or social reasons beyond physical hunger. The chance of finding a blue lobster is 1 in 2 million. This unusual color is due to a genetic abnormality that causes an overproduction of a specific protein. Blue lobsters are fascinating examples of how genetic mutations can give rise to extraordinary characteristics in nature. The atoms that make up our bodies are more than 13.7 billion years old. They are the same ones that were formed during the Big Bang. There is only one letter that does not appear in the name of any American state: Q. While other states include less common letters like Z and X in Arizona and Texas, the absence of Q highlights how names can reflect cultural and historical influences. The iconic red soles of Louboutin shoes were inspired by Andy Warhol. The pop artist's drawing flowers caught the famous designer's eye and gave him the idea to add that distinctive red sole to his designs. Walt Disney was an innovator whose influence lives on to this day through family entertainment and theme parks. His vision transformed the world of animated film and set new standards for visual storytelling. Studies have shown that listening to classical music can temporarily improve cognitive and spatial skills. This phenomenon is known as the Mozart effect and has led many people to incorporate classical music into their daily routines to improve their concentration and productivity. Chocolate has a rich history dating back to ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, where it was considered a sacred food and used in religious ceremonies. Sleep is vital to our physical and mental health. During this time, our body performs essential functions, such as repairing tissues and consolidating memories. Chronic lack of sleep can lead to serious health problems, underscoring the importance of prioritizing a good night's rest. Languages are constantly evolving. New words are created while others fall into disuse. This dynamic reflects cultural and social changes within linguistic communities, showing how language is a mirror of our lives. A 1995 study showed that pigeons can distinguish between works by Pablo Picasso and Claude Monet. The dust we see against the light from the glare coming through the windows is made up of 90% of our own dead cells. The actors who lend their voices to Mickey and Minnie Mouse, Russi Taylor and Wayne Allwine, were married in real life in 1991. Their relationship lasted until Wayne's passing in 2009, which adds an emotional layer to their shared history. The blue whale, the largest animal on the planet, has a heart that weighs approximately 397 pounds and can be heard more than 1.8 miles away. The last letter added to the English alphabet was J, which dates back to 1524. Before this, the letter I was used to represent both the I and J sounds. There is a specific word for someone who gives an opinion about something they know nothing about: ultra-crepidarian. This word comes from Latin and refers to those who speak beyond their knowledge. The human tongue is made up of 16 individual muscles. This complex muscular system allows for an impressive variety of movements, facilitating not only feeding, but also speech and emotional expression. No one is capable of committing suicide by holding their breath on their own. The longest walking distance in the world is 14,000 miles from Magadan, Russia, to Cape Town, South Africa. In addition, the journey allows you to experience the cultural diversity of the countries along the way, such as Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and several in Africa. The moon experiences moonquakes, phenomena caused by tidal stresses related to its distance from Earth. However, these tremors are much less intense than terrestrial earthquakes. Humans are the only animals that blush, suggesting an emotional complexity unique to our species. Kim Kardashian has a glamour clause in her will that stipulates that if she ever finds herself in a situation where she can't groom herself, someone must make sure her hair, nails, and makeup are perfect. An ostrich's eye is larger than its brain, resulting in a fascinating peculiarity that has caught the attention of scientists and nature enthusiasts. Chanel made the most expensive advertisement in history, costing approximately $33 million, starring Nicole Kidman. There are two countries where you cannot buy Coca-Cola: Cuba and North Korea. Facebook is blue because Mark Zuckerberg is colorblind. WeChat, a Chinese social network, is larger than Instagram, with around 900 million active users. The human body contains about 16,000 tons of potassium per year. This mineral is essential for various bodily functions, including regulating water balance and muscle function. The name Google comes from the mathematical term Google, which represents a 1 followed by 100 zeros. Red Bull in its lawsuit in 2013. A group of consumers sued Red Bull because it did not give wings. Of the 206 bones in an adult human body, 52 are found in the feet. Women blink twice as much as men. Although coffee is widely consumed and enjoyed by millions, it can be deadly if ingested in extreme quantities. Around 100 cups a day could be lethal. The Earth is not a perfect sphere. Although it is commonly represented as a sphere, the Earth is actually an oblate spheroid. This means that it is slightly flattened at the poles and widened at the equator. This shape is due to the rotation of the planet causing the equator to expand. The ocean contains more history than any museum. It is estimated that more than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored and unmapped. Although chocolate is a delicious treat for humans, it can be deadly for dogs. It contains theobromine, a substance that dogs metabolize slowly, which can lead to toxicity and even death. The sound of the ocean can be heard in a snail. If you hold a snail close to your ear, you can hear the sound of the ocean. This is because the snail acts like a resonant shell, amplifying ambient sounds. The world's tallest man is over 8.86 feet tall. Robert Wadlow, known as the Alton Giant, is the tallest man recorded in modern history. Before his death in 1940, his height was caused by an overactive pituitary gland, which led to continued growth throughout his life. Koalas are known for their lazy lifestyle, spending up to 22 hours a day sleeping. This is due to their nutrient-poor diet of eucalyptus leaves, which forces them to conserve energy. The human tongue has unique fingerprints. Just like fingerprints, each human tongue has a unique pattern that distinguishes it from others. Penguins are known for their unique courtship rituals, where they perform elaborate dances and offer stones as gifts to their mates. Zebras are black with white stripes. Although zebras are commonly thought of as being white with black stripes, studies have shown that their skin is black, and the stripes are an additional feature. Cats can jump up to 6 times their body length. Starfish have a remarkable ability to regenerate their lost arms. This process not only allows them to survive after a predatory attack, but also helps them adapt to changes in their environment. The speed of a sneeze can reach up to 99 miles per hour, which is really impressive. The term sandwich is derived from Earl John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, who lived in the 18th century. According to legend, he was a passionate card player and did not want to interrupt his game to eat. Therefore, he asked to have meat served between 2 slices of bread so that he could eat with one hand while continuing to play. When a bee finds a rich source of nectar, it returns to the hive and performs a dance known as the waggle dance. This dance consists of specific movements that indicate both the direction and distance to the food source. Laughter is a universal human response that has a surprisingly contagious effect. Studies have shown that hearing someone laugh can activate the same areas of the brain that are involved in laughter itself. Turtles are known for their impressive longevity. Some species can live for over 100 years, and there are even records of turtles reaching 200 years or more. Recent studies have suggested that listening to music while drinking coffee can enrich our sensory experience. Music can influence how we perceive flavors. The moon plays a key role in ocean tides due to its gravity. When the moon is close to Earth, it pulls water towards it, creating a high tide. When it moves away, there is a low tide. This cycle occurs approximately every 6 hours, resulting in 2 high tides and 2 low tides each day. Flamingos are famous for their distinctive posture. They often stand on one leg for long periods of time. This position is not only elegant, but functional. It helps them conserve energy by reducing the effort required to maintain their balance while resting. Aphids are fascinating insects because they can reproduce without males through a process known as parthenogenesis. In this process, females produce viable offspring without the need for male fertilization. Elephants are known for having exceptionally good memories. They can remember migration routes, water sources, and even other elephants for many years after they have been separated. Ants are small but incredibly strong. They can lift objects up to 50 times their own weight, thanks to their highly developed muscles in relation to their body size. The ocean covers about 71% of our planet and contains approximately 827 billion cubic miles of salt water. On average, there are about 1.2 ounces of dissolved salt per liter of seawater. Although we all know Coca-Cola is a dark drink, typical thanks to the caramel added during its production that gives it that characteristic brown color, it is interesting to know that before the additive, it is completely transparent. This dark color comes specifically from the colorant used to imitate the rich and deep flavor associated with this popular soft drink. Shooting stars are not really stars. They are meteoroids, small fragments originating mainly from comets, which enter our Earth's atmosphere at high speed, sometimes more than 43.5 miles per hour. What information has surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the next part of 101 Surprising Fun Facts. See you soon.